we have a segment on this show where we talk about our guests' hometown, and for this one, I'm gonna need Eric to say the damn name because I'm afraid
it is Maumee, Ohio.
Maumee?
Maumee.
Oh, Maumee. Okay.
Maumee. Which, a lot of people mispronounce it as Mommy.
Okay.
Maumee. Which happens.
So our friend Erik Barnes comes to us originally from Maumee, Ohio.
Suburb of Toledo.
Yeah.
If that's helpful, which I'm sure it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we know Toledo. Toledo was supposed to be what Detroit became.
Exactly. Well, we still are Diet Detroit in many ways.
Yeah,
as soon as if the Jeep plant isn't doing well in Toledo, people go back to Detroit to work. And if Detroit's automotive companies try to fuck them over, they come to Toledo, and it's been a back and forth relationship ever since.
And there's is it Maumee Bay?
Yes, Maumee Bay.
Yeah,
next to the Maumee River.
Yeah, next to the Maumee River. Mm-hmm. This is the site of
fishing for walleye. Yep.
This is also the site of the famous Toledo War.
Yep.
Which is one of my favorite things in American history, where Michigan invaded Ohio and held it hostage for better part of a year.
It's hilarious because of that history. There's always the Ohio State-Michigan college football game.
Of course, yeah.
And there is no more fervor. Like, you would think it would be between Ann Arbor and Columbus, where the feud would be like, grrr, but there's no more of a grrr than in Toledo
and Detroit,
all of the schools because of how close we are to the border.
Don't they have
between the states?
Did they used to have the game in Toledo at one point?
I don't recall, but they might have. It wouldn't surprise me just because there was so much crossover between Ohio citizens and Michigan citizens. Hell, our school celebrated the Ohio State-Michigan football game by wearing red or blue, depending on your allegiance. I actually went to my my aunt and uncle would have a party once a month at their home filled with like cousins and all that, like big family stuff. And we would always gather together for the Ohio State-Michigan football game. And there were members in the family that were Michigan fans, and there were some that were Ohio State fans. And it was... Yeah, so it was just everywhere.
I'm from Auburn, Alabama, buddy.
No.
We got a similar situation.
I'm sure. Listen, I'm sure. All I'm saying, if I'm saying this to anyone that's from the South, you'd be like, "Fuck yeah, of course." But this is Ohio and Michigan. We're the Midwest. We're more like, oh, yeah, football's fun.
Yeah,
9 times out of 10, and this is the 1 out of 10 time which we're like,
yeah. I couldn't figure out when, but apparently Betty Ford lived in Maumee at some point.
I found that Maumee.
The Maumee?
Maumee.
Mall?
Like mall? Like a panther.
Okay.
Which is the mascot.
But there's no L in it.
I know, but MAU and then me.
Okay.
Like you and me.
Maumee.
Mall like the Maumee Panthers.
Maumee.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how to say it.
I don't know.
It's fine.
I'm probably just going to keep saying Maumee.
You can say it however the hell you like. I don't live there anymore.
Mama, Ohio. But I found out Betty Ford lived there at some point.
Yeah.
When? I don't know. She's like from Chicago, apparently. But I don't know.
That's the thing, is that we try to cling on to as much celebrity as we can.
Sure.
Both Maumee and Toledo. Toledo, it's like, oh, we got the Jamie Farr golf tournament, And it's like, oh, you remember Katie Holmes? She's from
Toledo?
yeah, she's from here.
All right.
Remember her? She married Tom Cruise once.
Yeah.
Oh, she was probably doing bad.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the thing. But the biggest celebrity from Maumee that's celebrated in the town all the time, and he has passed on, is Dick Kazmaier.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so... Funny, all right.
Who the fuck is that?
I'm sure they've got it exactly. He was a football player, right?
Yeah, he was a Heisman Trophy winner in 1951.
Oh, cool.
Played for Princeton.
Yeah, grew up in Maumee, went to the high school, and in 1988, when I was going there, not to age myself, our stadium was renamed after him, and he took his Heisman Trophy, and it resides in our trophy case.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so, yeah. by most accounts, he seemed like a pretty good dude.
Okay.
So
I was trying to figure out if he was related to the famous Kazmaier from my town. Bill Kazmaier.
That was the rumor.
Yeah.
That's around school because, all my friends, I didn't give a fuck about football.
Right.
Even though I played, our team was, But that was the thing, is that amongst my cousins, I were like, is he related to the world's strongest man?
Yeah.
Is he related to Bill Kazmaier?
Yeah.
And there's no evidence that connects the two together, but there was kind of the thing. It's like, oh yeah, they're brothers, or oh yeah, they're cousins, and all that, which is totally not true.
Bill's from Wisconsin, and I think it's just there's just a shitload of Germans in that area.
Yeah, exactly.
But Bill Kazmaier is father to guy I graduated with, Erik Kazmaier. I've mentioned this on the show before. But Bill Kazmaier was the coolest dude in the world. He was one of our Cub Scout leaders.
Oh, shit.
And I remember going on a field trip with him and sitting on...
Did he bring his giant globe with him to carry to the ring?
He didn't even have to, just being around him. I was in first grade, and I remember sitting on a bus, on the bus seat next to Bill Kazmaier, and just looking down, and his leg looked like the trunk of a fucking tree. It was...
Of course.
It was incredible. But because I got real excited. I was like, is that Bill Kazmaier's dad? But no. But anyway.
I urge all listeners to Google Bill Kazmaier WCW and just watch him. His entrance to the ring, he brought this. He would carry over his shoulder, with a handle, a giant foam globe.
Yeah, like Atlas.
And he would just put it down, wrestle a 5-minute match so he wouldn't get winded, and then move on with his day.
And then we'd go back to Auburn and teach us how to tie square knots.
There you go.
Great dude.
For the children.
Fucking love Bill Kazmaier. I looked up some recent news stories from
please
Maumee / put some Toledo's in there.
Yeah, sure.
So big news, there's a new KFC coming to Maumee.
Yep.
That's literally the headline wouldn't just say KFC. It was like legendary restaurant chain coming to town.
Of course,
and I was thinking,
to entice you to read.
What's it going to be? And then it's a KFC, and I was so disappointed.
But here's I'll refute that later.
Okay,
go for it.
Disney on Ice is returning to the Huntington Center in December.
Mm-hmm. That's fun.
Yeah.
The Maumee Music Fest was held July 4th weekend. Some of the bands listed: the Nylon Twos, Smilo the Ghost, Distant Cousins, spelled with a Z at the end, and finally, my favorite band name I've ever heard, Public Water Supply.
I like that name too.
I want to know what genre they are.
Take a guess. I know. I looked
jazz.
them up. No, they should be jazz.
I haven't been back to Maumee in nearly 20 years, so this is all very nice, and all my references could be super dated at this point.
Public Water Supply, weirdly, is like a kind of a country Americana country band.
It sounds like it.
Which I was expecting jazz. That just sounds like a fucking funky jazz band. Mm-hmm. But so some pretty wholesome stuff here. But let's see if there's any other. Neo-Nazis carrying tiki torches protests at Jewish Center and Toledo's Love Fest.
Whoa.
And look,
they're still doing
ain't
the
that
tiki
America?
Yeah, 2 points. Yeah, what Sam just said, still with the tiki torches. That's so 6 years ago.
Welcome to Maumee.
They just found out about it.
Yeah.
But also, as terrible as that is, just imagine you're making signs to go protest something called Love Fest, and you don't feel like an asshole at any point.
Yeah.
Just what an amazing brain. So got that going on. 3 teens steal car, lead Toledo police on a high-speed chase. That fucking rules. Mm-hmm. Then this is from the Pizza Hut in Maumee, further from ABC 13. 2 Pizza Hut employees got into an argument Wednesday evening. Following the argument, one worker hit the other worker with the vehicle and then fled the scene. And this is literally how it's written. I copied and pasted this. A police officer witnessed the guy being struck by a vehicle. I love this. Instead of the man or the victim.
No.
Just he's a fucking guy.
First of all, journalism is dying. Secondly, it just sounds like some dude that came out. Dude, I just saw some guy just got hit. Yeah. He just ran up and hit him.
The victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The suspect who fled the scene was later arrested. So that's some that's what I was looking for. That's the juice.
Driver beef right there.
Yeah.
I don't want to shit on my hometown or anything, but that's the thing, is that there's really nothing to write home about. Literally, I mean, look at their fucking newspaper.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Which is a wonderful and awful thing.
I've made a point that might be unfair, and feel free to tell me if this is.
Sure.
I maintain Ohio is the state people think Alabama is in a lot of ways.
I cannot make an assessment one way or the other because I have not stayed in Alabama for a extended amount of time.
And I've never been to Ohio, but I read a lot of news. That's where you read shit like that, where it's like, two guys are fighting at the damn Pizza Hut. Fuck you, Billy, and ran him over with a car.
Here's what I think. I think it's not just Ohio is what Alabama is. It's Ohio is what Alabama is, and Tennessee is what Ohio is. And Wisconsin is what Tennessee is.
Oh, okay, yes, yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? It's like everything is everywhere. It's kind of like that David Cross bit of like, you go, I'm from Maumee, Ohio.
Yeah.
I'm from Auburn, Alabama. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm
from Vermont.
I'm from Bakersfield, California.
That voice is everywhere, and thus that culture is everywhere.
Right,
too.
right.
That's not South. That's not Midwest. That's America.
No, that's a fair point. And I've always wondered.
Is it more of a meth state or like a pill town?
But haven't been there in 20 years. Didn't experiment in the drug scene. So the answer is probably yes. I'm pretty sure it was opioids first and then got into it.
Okay, because that's usually what the delivery driver vehicle hit and run happens with drugs,
Well, we were in the Northwest, and I was in a suburb, but, Toledo and Detroit are for intents and purposes, are sister cities, even though they will never claim one another.
Yeah.
But a good chunk of Ohio is close to Appalachia, so I'm going to say opioids first.
Yeah.
Fent in the south, and then speedier as you go north towards the lake. So I got these questions here, and I've added just for this one and going forward because I think it's fun. Added a new question number one.
Ooh.
Question number one, Erik Barnes. What was the incident? And by that, just for the clarification of the listeners, because I was talking about when we did these year 2000 episodes, the great Adderall scandal of 2000, where 20 kids in my school got kicked out for dealing Adderall in the courtyard, and that was my first year of high school, and that became the incident. But also we had things like a city councilman who was high on meth kicked out the back window of a cop car and escaped down railroad tracks while handcuffed.
See,
shit like that, where you're just like, buddy, that's the incident.
As you can tell, based off of the high scandal local news stories that you've already produced, the biggest incident that I can recall in my mind was there was a renegotiation of the public schools contracts.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
And a principal that we all liked. There could have been an option of which he could have been fired.
But wasn't.
And we were upset about that as a student body.
Oh, man.
And we wanted to be, and some other teachers too, and it affected other teachers too. And we actually, a bunch of our older students got together and debated against the PTA and the school board against certain things.
Nice. Okay.
So that was our deal. And some of them are like, you children. And all of us are like, hey, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Without saying that because
right.
we're from Ohio. We're polite.
Oh, sure.
So that I recall as being the other thing. The other stuff is just small piddly things that I
love
honestly.
piddly.
So I honestly don't really remember because it's so small. And also, I was a goody two shoes for the most part growing up. So I was either unaware or unattached to anything fun or scandalous. I was a part of Young Life. I was a part of all this.
You wouldn't even hear about it.
Pro-Christian things and stuff. I wouldn't even hear about it, probably.
It was like the Scientologist on the corner.
Not too far off.
Yeah, they start telling you about some bad shit, you just run the other way. Yeah.
Well, we'd be like, oh, that sucks. Hey, want to get together and sing One Headlight? And
change one of the lines to be about Jesus?
Yeah, well, not necessarily that, but we would just do that, then talk about Jesus, because it was an inoffensive rock song to us.
Okay. We'd drive around this town, let the devil chase us around. He ain't going to catch us. That's what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Question 2. Local legend.
I haven't talked to this man ever since I graduated, because I am glad that that he was on my side.
Oh, hell yeah. I love guys like this.
His name was Aaron Warnock, which is
great name.
I know, right?
Great
and
name.
he was on the wrestling team because of course he was.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm picturing
He had an Alpha Omega tattoo on his chest. Junior year of high school.
Oh, man.
And he was jacked like a 30-year-old on roids.
Yeah.
And even though he was, 17 or whatever.
He would enter a room and American Badass would start playing.
There's no doubt in my mind that he fucked and still fucks. Even now, even if nowadays I haven't seen him, I don't want to see him. I want the legend still in my mind.
Yes, that's a good way to be.
Because but here's the thing, even if he's just a shell of the person he used to be, I still think that he fucks in the past, so much in the past that it has reverberated into the future for all time.
What was the hair situation? I'm imagining a ponytail, but it could be wrong.
There was no ponytail. It was kind of moppy a little bit to the sides here and there.
Okay.
I noted he hated the DMV so much. He hated it. He wrote for the school newspaper that was essentially an article called "Fuck the DMV," which was weird because in Ohio it's the Bureau of Motor Vehicles.
Yeah, but there's no.
But he had no. We weren't going to correct him.
The Primus song is DMV.
Yeah. And I was wrestling at 215. He was like 185 or something like that, and he would just. Might as well have been suplexing me back and forth like a goddamn rag doll.
Holy shit.
And here's the thing is that, like I said, Young Life, right? Young Life is a Christian organization and whatever. Not going to give them advertising they don't fucking need.
They're great. Everyone sign up for Young Life today.
Yeah.
I got something to tell you about Young Life.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, it's just a recent thing that was
fun.
Yeah.
But here's the thing is that Aaron, much like virtually everyone in high school went, and was a part of it, including Aaron Warnock. And in shop class, he decided to make a bat from God, I believe, is what he labeled it.
He made like a club, like a caveman club.
With a crucifix carved into it.
Like a cliche zombie movie.
He brought it to lunch with the intention that he was going to give it as a gift to the Young Life leader.
I made a gift.
Pretty much. And to my knowledge, since he brought it to lunch, the school teachers and everyone involved were nervous.
Why?
They called the youth leader to say, hey, can you get over here?
Collect your
because
war
he is not giving us the bat.
You're the only one who can
He said he will only give it to you.
And we know this child is the Incredible Hulk.
And he went so to my knowledge, he went the youth group leader went over, said, hey man, thank you very much for this. Can I take it now?
Yeah.
And he said, sure.
Oh, hell yes.
And I swear that was the school's version of the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah, that's
which everyone is like,
that's the incident right there.
God.
The day the Incredible Hulk bought a bat to school.
But that's the deal. Yeah,
made it.
And here's the thing. I don't go on. I don't really fuck around with Facebook anymore because obvious reasons and all that. I'm not going to friend him. I don't want to friend him.
Yeah.
Again, legend, and also I don't want, I don't want to misinterpret things, and he comes back at me, especially since but I did go to his Facebook page. I didn't see much because I didn't want to friend him or anything, but I do know that his banner was some Brazilian jiu-jitsu dojo, and I just went, oh, of course, of course. So I'm sure he is somewhere. Like a 40 to 43-year-old man that is rolling around with other dads,
breaking arms,
breaking shoulders and ankles, and choking them out for fun.
Being like, I used to be on the wrestling team.
Yeah. This is better. I get to hurt people.
I get to hurt people even more.
Yeah.
I also have a very caveman-like friend who had a handmade extra large baseball bat that would be completely useless to hit baseballs with, that was just for, wreaking destruction if the situation called for it. But no, I was gonna say it was time. I had to buy an LA Knight t-shirt.
There we go.
Let me talk to you. And I wore it to a stand-up show last week, and after the show this girl came over and kind of pulled my jacket back and was like, "Oh, I thought it was a Young Life t-shirt." And I was like, yeah, based on what I was saying on stage, you could have easily mistaken me for a Christian comedian.
Hey, you're pretty wholesome,
I suppose.
Yeah.
And here's
how many
the thing,
curse words did you say in that set?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess I don't know.
You're a Christian comic.
Yeah, I'm a Christian comic.
I'll give this to Young Life. It's
That's the thing about those organizations is you can say it keeps kids out of trouble because it literally gives them something to do.
It gives them something to do.
But
while they were preachy and all this type of stuff, and they were like pro Jesus. Like you would go to, it's like, let's go to Young Life camp. Yeah, there would be servants, there would be singing, but there would also be zip lines.
Yeah.
And it's like, they even have a smoking pit, for God's sake.
That's got to be an Ohio only thing.
Yeah, but
smoking pit.
But you get what I'm saying.
That's
is like
amazing.
At least they were. Don't get me wrong. There should be more or non-religious, secular-based like kid. Community center stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, that should exist and that should be prominent. But at least for the Kool-Aid Christian shit, that one was at least less. What's the word? Inoculation? Not inoculation.
Indoctrination. Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't give people COVID.
Yeah. No, we had MYF, which I used, not entirely unlike our North Korean border jumper, just as a means to just escape and go do other things on Sunday nights. So, because who could object? So, like, I'm going to church, and then I would go and eat the chicken fingers and play GoldenEye. Yeah. And then when they started devotional, we would just escape to downtown.
Yeah, that was at least the positive thing about Young Life was even if you didn't buy into the Christian shit, they're like, okay.
Yeah. I love they have a smoking pit.
Have fun.
I'm still obsessed with the Christian smoking
Enjoy your
pits.
cigarettes.
Yeah. Who brought the cigarettes?
It's just all the kids with
all the 18-year-olds.
Yeah, okay.
It's all the kids in the early 2000s dressed like the Matrix and shit. They got the trench coats and they're just
believe it or not. I'll say this about Young Life, at least in Toledo or in Maumee, Ohio, and Toledo, Ohio, it was at least the unifying point of the stereotypical groups.
Sure.
The jocks, the nerds, the marching band, the goths. They all came to Young Life.
Okay.
Least,
nice.
So
it's either that or you steal the car like those three other teens and go on a high-speed chase. Those kids weren't going to Young Life. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Question 3, and you might not even have one of these because you left so long ago, but worst bar.
I left Maumee prior to drinking age. So I was unfamiliar. But there are 2 bars that I'm aware of, that one of which I didn't go to, called The Distillery.
Okay.
Simply.
Sounds like it has Edison bulbs and they play Belle and Sebastian.
Sure. They might. I wouldn't know. But the other was one I worked at, which was Dave's Bar and Grill. Dale's Bar and Grill.
Okay.
And it was just the place where everyone met. Bill Anderson was my boss, and he was the son of the owner of Anderson's, which was a local chain store. And I loved working there. I worked as a short order cook. I got good tips, making hamburgers, all that type of stuff. And the drunks, they're like, you're good kids. And they would just keep throwing cash in the thing. And also Bill was just amazingly cool boss in the sense of he was, how there are rich guys and then there's rich guy in your community, right?
Right.
He was rich guy in our community.
Sure. And
in the sense of he'd be like, hey man, just come over to my house. We'll just watch The Matrix on my amazing super big screen TV and all that type of thing. So he would hang with his employees and create positive employee things.
That's cool.
So yeah, love that guy.
Okay. Well, you might have just answered it, but best local food.
I was waiting for this.
Yeah. Ohio, legendary for strange food items. Down in Cincinnati, of course, they got the Skyline chili. What's the thing in Maumee?
Well, first of all, We have no real cuisine in Maumee, Ohio.
Okay.
I mean, we offshoot from Toledo. There's Tony Paco's because olives are good.
What?
I don't get it.
What is that?
It's just a place where their whole thing is like, put peppers and olives on everything.
But what do they serve other than that?
I don't know. I don't care because I didn't care for peppers and olives on
I'm just
everything.
picturing a hamburger bun filled with olives.
Hey,
You know what? You may not be far off.
They
really.
make olive bread.
Yeah.
They really
Yeah,
do.
sure. Yeah,
My roommate delivers
but-
bread. We have a loaf of it all the time.
But growing up, and this is I hope this kills the new legendary restaurant chain KFC or however they fucking worded it.
Yeah.
Is a local chain called Frickers.
Okay.
Frickers does wings and fried chicken.
All right.
And what we would do is Tuesday was 50-cent wing night. And myself and my fellow football players, cross-country runners, pick a team, any team. One of the bonding experiences is to just meet up on Frickers on a goddamn Tuesday and eat until our digestive systems couldn't take it anymore.
Okay.
I can remember eating like 60 wings, 80 wings.
Oh my god!
Holy shit.
What the fuck?
Listen, we were
How?
I was going to say high school athletes. Yeah.
High school athletes.
High school kids can eat like a
here's the thing.
motherfucker.
I am the slowest runner in the Northern Lakes League in the year 2001.
That's a record, right?
Or 2000. Yeah, I am legitimately the slowest one. I was dead last in the final race that involved all the schools. And one of the motivators that kept me running, because I was also the heaviest. My walking around weight was around 230.
Mm-hmm.
And compared to like the 150-pound flyweights that were running laps around me. So one of the motivating things is as soon as the other runners were done, they would go to certain parts of the track to motivate me by just yelling chicken wings at me. Because we would go to Frickers afterward. Because I did cross-country combination of body dysmorphia issues, my issues with my dad, and in order to build up stamina for wrestling. Because if I'm 230 pounds and I had more wind than my other 230-pound opponent, more likely for me to win. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I ain't gonna out-muscle him because I can't grow muscles. So that was my saving grace. And on top of that, in wrestling, you have to diet down, you have to weigh down in order to make weight and all that type of stuff. And so after a good wrestling tournament or anything like that was the thing. It's like, oh, okay, guys, we can relax a little bit. Let's go to Frickers and just eat as many fucking wings as
1,000
possible.
wings.
Yeah, and just giant plates filled with all of this breaded fried chicken of various sauces and flavors and tastes.
Man.
And because of that, and because of the prices, and I hope obviously, this is like fucking 20 years ago, so everything has changed, but I hope it still exists. All jest aside, it was a wonderful place to grow up. But if you want to do the things that we all do and that we want to do and aspire to do, we can't stay there.
Go to restaurants that stay open past 10 p.m.
Hey,
Frickers is open late.
They're open till 2:30 a.m.
Yeah. Do they still exist?
Oh, yeah.
Where at?
Reynolds Road,
Yep,
Maumee,
that's
Ohio.
the one.
Yep.
That's the one.
Got a shitload. I mean, they look
Reynolds
like
Road is
pretty good.
They got a shitload of flat screen TVs too, so you can watch the big game.
It's
there.
like nothing has changed.
Hell yes. Question 5: local ghosts or monsters?
Sorry, we're short on ghosts.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure that there will be like, I don't know, some Wikipedia page will just be like, the skunk ape. And I'm like, that's all of Ohio.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of the Ohio ones. The favorites being, of course, the Ohio Grassman, which is a Bigfoot so slow he has grown moss on him like a sloth. And then there is, of course, the melon heads, which are a science experiment that escaped into the woods.
That I was unaware of.
Yeah, check out our episode with Heather Winter. We talked about the melon heads. And then there's the Loveland frog, which is the frog that walks. It's a giant man-sized frog.
Yeah.
So Ohio's got some weird ones. I was just just wondering if there was anything like that.
I'm sure there's some that came out of when the Toledo Black Swamp.
Yes, the big black swamp there.
Yeah, I'm sure. But
which was part of the reason for the Toledo War that we mentioned. Yeah, because it was impassable. There was no way to get to Detroit through the big black swamp. They had to find a way around it.
Talk to Mad Anthony Wayne about that shit.
Oh, yeah, Mad Anthony Wayne. That's why the Fort Wayne, Indiana is named for him. And
we had Wayne Trail Middle School.
Yeah, Fort Wayne is named for him in Indiana, and that is why their minor league basketball team is called the Mad Ants. Yeah, after Mad Anthony Wayne. Yep.
I think Wayne Trail was like something like the Patriot. It was something of that kin that would have been related to Mad Anthony Wayne.
And then last question: favorite thing that's not there anymore?
Honestly, I again, 20 years. It's probably a lot of places. There was an ice cream place. Penguin Palace. That's what it was called.
Oh shit!
And it was right across the street from my house. And they would sell something, because they were mostly just like high school kids making ice cream stuff.
Yeah,
they would fuck up. So they would have in their fridge and freezer some mistakes, like how In-N-Out has their secret menu.
Sure, yeah.
Well, you can go to Penguin Palace. They wouldn't advertise it, but you could say, "Do you have any mistakes in there?" and whatever.
Just my son.
It's like shit of like, I put caramel instead of fudge on this one.
And someone complains.
Yes. People would complain, be like, I wanted fudge, not caramel. And they give it back, they fix it, and they put it in there.
Yeah.
And be like, what mistakes you have? And it's like, okay, that. And it's like, okay, I'll give you 50 cents for it.
It's like the ice cream version of day old bread.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
So that's what I did.
Love it.
It was perfect.
Fuck yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Fat Kid Paradise. You shitting me?
Yeah.
Across the fucking street.
Across the street.
Oh, I would be there way too much.
Rivers, what would happen is during the summers, prior to Monday Night Raw, I would go across the street to Penguin Palace, buy it, whatever mistake I wanted, and then go back and then watch, watch the New Age Outlaws.
I was about to say, you're sitting there watching Goldberg, fucking jackhammer Hollywood Hogan, just being like, God, don't make no mistakes.
Would they sometimes have a wide variety of selection?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
the fucking cross-country team would come in there and they fuck it up.
As soon as I saw, they have a new person working.
Nice. Oh,
that's when I'd be like, oh, man, I'm going to get some good eating this week.
I see inexperience in his eyes. Just like sitting outside waiting for him to fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, that rules. Well, that is a tour of Erik Barnes's Maumee, Ohio.
Ooh.